I want to remind you, you have this, white paper, right? And what rates a friend from MLRE talked about, वो है, लेकिन मेरा फॉर्मूला थोड़ा अलग था। मेरा फॉर्मूला बड़ा सिंपल फॉर्मूला था। आप करिए प्राइस डिस्कवरी, हमें वायबिलिटी गैप फंडिंग की भी क्या ज़रूरत है? ये तो हमने इस रिपोर्ट में डाली है कि वायबिलिटी गैप फंडिंग, इनके जो रेट बताए हैं वो भी हमने लिखे हैं, लेकिन मेरा ये कहना है कि उसकी भी ज़रूरत नहीं है हमें। हमारा कहना है कि अगर सपोज XYZ 3 कंपनियाँ 5.5 रुपया पर यूनिट कोट करती हैं, वही लोएस्ट है, और समझिए हायर लिमिट जो कोट कर रही है वो 6.5 रुपया है, तो आप जो ये 5.5 वाली है उनको बुलाइए, उनकी टेक्निकल एनालिसिस रिव्यू करिए कि ये जो चीज़ें दे रहे हैं ये 20 साल में वापरने लायक रहेंगी कि नहीं रहेंगी। ऐसा नहीं हो कि उसको फेंकना पड़े उठा के। वो चीज़ अगर गवर्नमेंट इसको तसल्ली कर ले, तो चाहे वो राज्य की सरकार हो चाहे वो केंद्रीय सरकार हो, तसल्ली कर ले कि भाई ये जो चीज़ें 20-25 साल चलने वाली है, तो आप फिर उसको बेंचमार्क बनाइए। और दूसरे जो समझिए 20 कंपनियां आ गई इसके अंदर और 3 कंपनियां क्वालिफाई कर गई 5.5 पे, तो जो बाकी जो आपकी 17 कंपनियां उनको बुलाइए एक के बाद एक, और प्राइस डिस्कवरी आपने 5.5 पे करिए। बोलिए कौन मैच कर रहा है, रिवाइज ऑफर दीजिए और मैच करिए। मिनिमम क्राइटेरिया नहीं होगा, और अगर आप उससे कुछ अच्छा दे रहे हैं तो आप बताइए हम क्यों तुमको कॉम्पेंसेट करें। उसके बाद आप अवार्ड करते जाइए। ये जो टेंडर का सिस्टम है, ये L1 मुझे समझ में नहीं आया। L1 में तो सब चाइनीज को जाएगा। इस वक्त पूरे प्लांट के अंदर करीब 1600 मेगावाट उन्होंने दिखाए हैं। मैं आपको बताना चाहूँगा, बड़ा अलार्मिंग सिचुएशन है। 70% चाइनीज फोटोवोल्टेक है। हमारे ये मैन्युफैक्चरर बेचारे बैठे हैं, दोस्त आज आए हैं, साथ में हैं। मेरे ख्याल से कल आपसे बातचीत होगी इनकी, तो बहुत बुरा हाल है। एंटी डंपिंग ड्यूटी हमारी सरकार ईगॉम में लाती है, 21% एंटी डंपिंग ड्यूटी। याद रखिए, एंटी डंपिंग ड्यूटी का चैंपियन मैंने ही चैंपियनशिप करी थी 2009 में। मैंने बताया था, थर्मल सेक्टर में ये बात कही थी। एंड नाउ इट हैज कम टू सिचुएशन कि हमें फोटोवोल्टेक अपने इंडस्ट्री को अगर बचाना है तो आगे जाना। ये मैं नहीं कह रहा हूँ, यूएस खुद कह रहा है। 31% एंटी डंपिंग ड्यूटी यूएस ने लगाया चाइनीज फोटोवोल्टेक पे, और ये देश है ईगॉम के थ्रू गया है, लेकिन वो पड़ा हुआ इंप्लीमेंट नहीं हुआ अभी तक। आपने लगाया नहीं 21% एंटी डंपिंग, क्यों बैठे आप उसके ऊपर? और 31% मेरा कैलकुलेशन था प्रोफेसर अय्यर का। तो मैं जोर से बोलना चाहता हूँ, ये सारा मीडिया में रिकॉर्ड हो रहा है, सब कुछ जा रहा है। सरकार क्यों बैठी है इस तरह से? क्यों नहीं उस 21% एंटी डंपिंग ड्यूटी को लगा रही है, जिससे कि हमारे मैन्युफैक्चरर खुश रहें? वो नहीं किया। अब वो नहीं किया तो सस्ता माल आएगा। इस सस्ता और घटिया माल आएगा, चलेगा ही नहीं 20 साल। मेरे को बताइए, ऑटोमोबाइल सेक्टर में इस देश में मोटरसाइकिल या कोई कार चाइना से आई है? भयंकर सवाल है ये। क्यों नहीं आया है? सस्ता तो वहां से बनता है, क्योंकि वो कंपीट ही नहीं कर सकते हमारी इंडस्ट्री के साथ। आज दुनिया की सबसे बड़ी कार मैन्युफैक्चरिंग इंडिया के अंदर हो रही है। बड़ी बड़ी कंपनियां इसको इंटरनेशनल ऑटोमोटिव मैन्युफैक्चरिंग बेस बना रही है, और जब ये बना रहे हैं, हम सोलर का बेस भी बनेगा ना। तो मैंने कुछ आपको 28 पेज में कुछ प्लान दिया है। आई गिवन गुड आइडियाज। अब ये डिफैक्टो ले जाए MLRE में, तरुण कपूर साहब को भेजूंगा, मंत्री को भेजूंगा। ये आपके पास अवेलेबल, आप पब्लिक से चाहते हैं डिस्कोर्स, ये पब्लिक में रिलीज हुआ है, इसको अपनाइए, देखिए क्या कर सकते हैं। यू हैव टू बाइट द बुलेट माय फ्रेंड, सॉरी, बट ऑल द बेस्ट टू यू। यू मस्ट बाइट द बुलेट नाउ, टाइम हैज कम। नाउ आई रिक्वेस्ट Ashwini Darji, who will throw a lot of light. Ashwini Darji has served BHEL for 30 years, a company that I actually admire. Unfortunately, there are some inefficiencies which the minister has talked also. Ashwini will give certain answers to that, because he has seen the inside and outside of BHEL. Let me tell you, Chinese thermal power equipment के खिलाफ BHEL के साथ मिलके हमने Chinese equipment manufacturers के साथ लड़ाई लड़ी है बड़ी भयंकर। उसके बाद भी वो Chinese आ गए, लेकिन उतने बड़े नहीं जितने बढ़ने चाहिए। कद छोटा हो गया, उतना नहीं कर पाए जितना करना चाहिए। और मैं आपको ये बताना चाहता हूँ कि चाइनीज़ मशीन शायद गुजरात में भी चल रही है, लेकिन वो ओनर अब वापस चाइनीज़ मशीन नहीं लेंगे, क्योंकि उन्होंने किस कारण से लिया है और क्यों लिया है मुझे पता है, और बड़े क्लियर है। गुजरात के ओनर बोलते हैं इस प्रोजेक्ट में हमें जल्दी रिटर्न ऑन इन्वेस्टमेंट चाहिए था, मजबूरी थी। इसकी आगे की प्रोजेक्ट BHEL हो या कोई अच्छी कंपनियाँ उनसे लेंगे तो ज़रूर आएगा। मिस्टर अश्विनी दत्त, प्लीज कम ऑन।
With the zeal and the sound that you have created, I am sure the policy makers will take a note of it. Eminent panelists on the dais, my friends, Surat and Gujarat, namaskar. I am Ashwini Dar. Yes, I have been born and brought up in BHEL. 37 long years have been pretty long time, but now I am not in BHEL. I am working with a different company. It's a private company. I am a chief executive officer there. So अभी तो मैं जिसका नमक खा रहा हूँ उसी का हूँ. So, but anyway, I mean, the theme of today's session has been energy parity. Am I right? Energy security for India. What I understand, energy security by 2022 is that for every Indian who is there in 2022 will have access to efficient energy systems. Am I right, Professor? Okay. Now let's start from 2022 is just 9 years away. 2013, what does the see? 2013, 2,25,000 megawatt installed capacity. As per government, energy deficit 12%. As per independent analysts, energy deficit 25%. Now, what does that mean? If we are 12% energy deficit as of today, if we take the Government of India figures, that means it will become 100% in 8 years or 9 years. So, where is the energy security of India in 2022? The power sector has to grow. If we have to maintain the deficit as given by the government as 12%, it has to grow by 25%. Then you can retain 12% deficit. If you have to wipe off 12% deficit, then you have to grow by almost 35 to 40%. And what we are doing? Power sector in the previous 2 years has grown by 7%. Coal, that is the backbone of the Indian power scene, is growing by 3%. So my dear friends, don't be surprised. 2015, rather I would see that energy threat for India in 2022 maybe his next session. What is the security? As per the present scene, we should have almost 100% energy deficit in the country by the next 6 to 7 years. This is a very scary scenario. I don't know what the policymakers of this country, the leaders of this country are, what they have planned. The fundamental thing that God gave us, the Mother Nature gave us. My friend from MNRE, he just gave some figures. Very good figures. 1,686 megawatt commissioned as of 31st March 2013. It does not even form 1% of installed capacity. It is just 0.7%. And in this 1,686 megawatt, 1,400 megawatt comes from only 2 states, Rajasthan and Gujarat. What are the other 27 states doing? What is MNRE doing? What are the policymakers of Government of India doing? Have they decided that the future prospect of this country is only darkness and nothing else? How you can be so undermined, unthoughtable rather I would say, that when there is a severe situation, it's a crisis is facing you, and we have no policy in place. Policies are in paper, solar mission is on paper. Can you, for your friends, a simple statistic I will give you. We have 40 crore cows and buffaloes, what we call as bovines. They produce waste of 8 to 10 kgs. If we put this waste to use and generate biogas, energy through biogas, daily we'll have 24 crores units of electricity. 24 crore units of electricity. Present 3 crore units is what we are getting. Not even 2, it's about 2.5 crore units. That means almost only one factor. That means the buffaloes and cows and bulls of this country will wipe out the total energy deficit of the country if the people who take decisions understand this aspect. We have sun for 300 days. We used to have power generation from coal, then we got coal gate. Our learned friends in the CAG, they suddenly found that coal is a commercial commodity, so it should be sold at commercial rates. They forgot that India is a welfare state. Coal is a natural resource, just like water and air. So today, coal is being asked. Third aspect is going to come will be air. You can't have free air. Why you should breathe free air? What are the ordiners of the country doing? What has happened 55,000 megawatt of power this time is lying idle. Not a single private utility is now prepared to invest in coal-based power plant because after sinking thousands of crores, suddenly their plant. Thinkers of the nation, with the leaders of the nation, really understand, leave away their political biases. And this is student of power engineering or law. If you take a commercial break for coal, the planning unit cost will not be anything less than 20 rupees. Will this awareness? So why are they putting such issues for a natural resource? It has to go by 1%, power has to go by 2.5%. It's a simple equation which the economists have said about. So AGL is not the one company. AGL is owned by every citizen, just like NTPC is owned. It's because of the might of the government sector. It was because of the might of the last nuclear blast. Nothing could happen in this country. We cannot undermine the relevance of the Indian government sector.
My maternal grandfather wanted to work in Sarabhai or Jyoti. He was working in L&T. He was not getting a chance. That was the time. And I am very lucky. I started my career with Nanubai Amin. He was alive in Baroda. My first job, Jyoti Limited, Baroda. With that, I also want to tell you something. After, I'm sorry, it will look a little politically. But after Nehruji and the first 3 5-year plans, show me a 5-year plan which showed growth. Every time you are working on deficit, performance. My little child, मेरा बच्चा स्कूल जाता है तो उसको नंबर लाने पड़ते हैं, आपका बच्चे को लाना पड़ता है. अब तो 90% भी कुछ नहीं है, लेकिन सरकार 20% पे काम करे तो भी चलता है, 30% से काम करे तो भी चलता है. केंद्र सरकार की यह हालत है. पिछले 10 साल में जितना निकम्मापन हमने दिखाया वो किसी देश ने नहीं दिखाया. ये देश आज डिस्कस कर रहा है कि चाइनीज 10 किलोमीटर अंदर आके बैठे हैं. मीडिया फोटो डाल के बता रही है कि बैठे हैं, देखो इनके टेंट हैं, और हमारी सरकार बोलती है हम बड़ा स्ट्रॉन्ग प्रोटेस्ट करेंगे. अगर ये रिस्पॉन्स सिस्टम है, वी आर फिनिश्ड. I can tell you, we will be a destroyed nation within no time. So I'm very clear. I want to see the likes of Pandit Nehru, and I will also tell you, I want to see the likes of Narendra Modi ji. I have the guts to say that here. He must go forward to become the PM. You must. And I tell you, it is not the duty of only Gujarati people. It is the duty of every Indian to go forward and say, if the opposition can produce a better leader in this country, please do that. Because now I am calling them the opposition. Because what is the opposition? Only one issue. I'm sorry, I don't want to name it, it's not the forum. But if you see the progress of Gujarat on every field, I'm telling you, this whole issue is there, and I want to give Ashwini Saab, my best friend, a point. BHEL must be professionalized. Do you agree? BHEL is unprofessional in many issues, although I'm a big supporter of BHEL. I want to warn, you must be efficient. 8 years back I wrote, not 8 years, sorry, 12 years back I wrote an article in Indian Express. My article in Indian Express was professionalize and not privatize. ये जो प्राइवेटाइजेशन जो शब्द है ना, बड़ा भयंकर शब्द हो गया. जैसे पहले आया था ग्लोबलाइजेशन, एक भूत आया था. अब ग्लोबलाइजेशन अच्छी बात है, लेकिन भूत बन गया. आज कोई ग्लोबलाइजेशन की बात करता है उसके खिलाफ बोलते हैं अरे ये तो गलत बात कर रहा है, पूंजीपतियों की बात कर रहा है. इसी तरह प्राइवेटाइजेशन की बात भी वही हो गई है. मैं एक एग्जांपल बताता हूँ कि हम मेरा बैंक अकाउंट, मेरी कंपनी का, मेरा पर्सनल सब विजया बैंक में है, और मैं प्राइवेट सेक्टर का आदमी हूँ. इसका मैसेज क्या है? विजया बैंक इज अ पब्लिक सेक्टर बैंक. I do not trust the private banks of India with my account. What does it mean? Because the banks professionalized, they got competition. So now the public sector banks are more private than the private sector. मैंने बड़ी famous statement कई साल पहले बोली थी, अब वो पता नहीं मीडिया ने अब पिक करी कि नहीं. The private sector is more publicly held and the public sector is more privately held. How? The public sector, especially the central government PSUs, I'm sorry, are more privately held by the government of India. The ministers send their tickets, planes, everything. No fiscal discipline, my friend. And I'm telling you, I'm very proud to say, I have dealt with Gujarat both as a media man, as a publisher, as other things, and on commercial basis. I don't see even one officer of Gujarat government giving me any suggestion of any type of any feeling, nothing. Straightforward work, my friend. From Saurabhai office to downline, it is straight. And everybody said in India there cannot be any state. सीधा नहीं हो सकता. कैसे नहीं हो सकता? सीधा यही हो रहा है ना गुजरात में. उसकी क्या प्रॉब्लम है? ये नहीं बोल रहा हूँ कि पूरा करप्शन हट चुका है. लेकिन एक बड़ी होप गुजरात दे रहा है। गुजरात में काम सीधे से हो रहे हैं, काम होता है। तो ये चीज़ पूरी कल्चर देश में आनी चाहिए। हर जगह कल्चर, हमारी करप्शन की कल्चर बड़ी तगड़ी हो गई है। तो नहीं तो हम वो फिर केजरीवाल को सुनना पड़ेगा हमें। वो बोलेगा मैं बनूंगा, कैसे बनूंगा, मैं बिजली के तार जोड़ दूंगा। किसके जोड़ूंगा? उसके जोड़ूंगा जो पैसे दे नहीं सकता है। भैया सारे ही पैसे नहीं दे सकते, मैं भी नहीं दे सकता हूँ। एक जन मुझे याद है, शेखर सुमन जी बोले कि आई एम मिडिल क्लास। फिर मैं बोला मैं तो बहुत ही मिडिल क्लास हूँ, गरीब हूँ मैं। अगर शेखर सुमन जैसा अमीर कैरेक्टर अगर अपने आप को मिडिल क्लास आदमी बोलता है तो प्रोफेसर अय्यर बहुत ही गरीब है। और हम सारे बहुत काफ़ी गरीब लोग हैं, इंक्लूडिंग एच एस पटेल साहब भी। We are not at all, we are very poor people, we are lower middle class people according to me. So this definition is to change in our country, my friend. स्वार्थ का कोई अंत नहीं है। You know, उतना बोलते हैं ना, तेते पाँव पसारिए जेती लंबी सौर, वो फॉर्मूला अपने घर के लिए लगाइए। इतने ग्रीडी मत बनिए कि ग्रीड के अंदर ही चले जाएं, क्योंकि हमने जो इकोनॉमी लाई है वो इकोनॉमी अब मटेरियलिज्म की तरफ चली गई है। इनका क्या डिफरेंस है? आई टोल्ड वंस फिलिप कॉटलर, द ग्रेट मैन हु इज अ मार्केटिंग मैनेजमेंट गुरु, that the problem is we are not consumerists, we are materialists. So what is the difference? Consumers and consumption is interesting and important for growth of GDPs, but materialism is very dangerous because that is blatant consumption. ये नहीं करना, blatant consumption नहीं करना, समझ के consumption करना. So anyway, my point is Gujarat is showing all these ways. See, Gujarat, you see people in Gujarat don't show off many times. They are simple people. So can we learn simplicity? I am telling you, I am a South Indian also. I come from South once upon a time, but मैं हरियाणा में रहा था 17 साल। मेरी पढ़ाई कुरुक्षेत्र में हुई। हमारे अश्विनी साहब भी श्रीनगर के NIT, he is another NITian. So he happens to be my senior in that way, right? So we are all NITians. We are mini Indias, right? In our institutions. Anyway, that was called Regional Engineering College. He says NIT, nobody understands. But that's what it is, SP NIT. So regional engineering college, I was also from the REC at that time. So I mean to say, these were institutions from where good people came. अब क्या हो गया? अब क्या बदल गया? ऐसी कौन सी परिस्थिति में फर्क आया है कि लोग उल्टी बातें कर रहे हैं, कह रहे हैं ये इंस्टीट्यूशन स्टैंडर्ड जा रहा है। कौन जाने दे रहा है इनकी स्टैंडर्ड्स को? हमारा ही काम है, हमारी गलती है, किसी और की नहीं है। और दूसरी चीज़ बताता हूँ, थोड़ा सिटीजन को भी करना पड़ेगा। जैसे अब माहौल गुजरात में पैदा हुआ है, बाकी जगहों में सिटीजन्स को भी आना पड़ेगा आगे। जहाँ जहाँ अगर सरकार कोई पॉलिसी लाए तो सपोर्ट भी करना पड़ेगा उसको। जिधर जिधर पॉलिसी ठीक नहीं है, जैसे बोल रहे हैं कि ऑक्शन हो जाए, सब कुछ ऑक्शन हो जाए, सब कुछ हाईएस्ट कॉस्ट पर रिसोर्स देंगे तो फिर आपको 20 रुपये की बिजली मिलेगी, वो तो नहीं खरीद सकते। बिल्कुल सही बात है, और ये हमने कवर पे लिखा था अपने इनर्शिया। तो आई एम सेइंग टू ऑल माय फ्रेंड्स, प्लीज कम टू द डिस्कशन। टुमारो वी हैव डिस्कशन ऑन स्मार्ट ग्रिड, वी हैव अदर डिस्कशन, बट इन द मीनवाइल we have very excellent people. I have my second last speaker today, Mr. Bikram Singh from Energy Exchange, who will tell us how the exchange will help in buying of power at market price mechanism. Mr. Bikram Singh, please.
Very good afternoon to the respected dignitaries on the dais and the delegates. After this charged speech, I think my presentation is going to be a little softer and a little boring in that sense. We've, as an exchange, started in India about 4 years back. So for the last 4 years now, we have been operating this exchange. There are, I think, three main segments on the exchange right now. Day-ahead market, term-ahead market and RECs. I'll spend more time on the day-ahead market, and this is exactly who we are. Our promoters, joint equity partners and technology is by Financial Technologies. And this is a breakup of the Indian power market. We've seen that long-term contracts constitute about 89% of the total power that is generated in the country. And medium term plus the short term constitutes about 8%. The balance is through real time. Out of this, 2% is what is traded on the exchanges these days. About IEX, it's an online voluntary platform of a national level. We have standardized contracts where trading of electricity can take place. This is the breakup of the contracts available on the exchange, the day-ahead market, the term-ahead market and renewable energy certificates. As I said, day-ahead market is going to be the main segment. I think, just excuse me for a second, I think there's some... I'm sorry for that. So we have the day-ahead market, the term-ahead market, and the renewable energy certificates. The brief about these three markets is given. The day-ahead market is a closed double-sided auction market. The bidding for this market takes place between 10 and 12. The seller of electricity or the buyer of electricity can buy or sell electricity in each 15-minute time block. So you have the day divided into 96 time blocks. Then we have the term-ahead market, which gives you day-ahead contingency, intraday, daily and weekly. We'll have a look on them in the coming slides. And of course the renewable energy certificates, which is the latest market which has been started on the exchange from February 2011. Here the renewable energy certificates that the renewable energy generators get are traded on the exchange on the last Wednesday of the month. So you have sellers, buyers, and 1 megawatt hour equal to 1 REC. The signs on the right is the auction markets and the continuous markets. So day-ahead market, term-ahead market, weekly, and renewable energy certificates are basically auction markets where both buyers and sellers bid. And the day-ahead contingency, intraday and daily are continuous markets, something like what we see on the NSE, BSE stock exchanges, where volume and prices are visible to the parties and they can trade. So the day-ahead market, this is the most liquid market. It has been operating now for more than 4 years, and we'll just see what all has been happening on this market since that time. So there is a firm commitment to purchase or sell. Bidding is double-sided closed auction. Order types is 15-minute block or portfolio orders, which means that you can bid for each 15-minute time block, and the pricing is dependent upon you. You can bid in different price quantity pairs. In this order type, partial execution is possible, plus for some consumers and for some generators, block bids are also possible. So one can put a block bid which has a criteria of all or none. So if it is 10 megawatt round the clock block bid, one will be able to get the round the clock power from the exchange. Trading availability is every calendar day. We are open all calendar days. 365 days we are working. Order characteristics, SLDC clearance, as far as the exchange is concerned, for us these are the criteria. 0.1 megawatt, that is 100 kilowatt hour, is sufficient from the SLDC side. But this condition is subject to the state regulations given by the state regulators. In Gujarat it is 1 megawatt hour. Minimum order quantity can be less than 1 megawatt. Minimum volume step is 0.1 megawatt, and minimum price is ₹1 per megawatt hour. This minimum volume step also, though it is applicable all across the country, but there are some issues in Gujarat because of which minimum 1 megawatt consumption is required at all points of time. This is our timeline which we follow every day. For the last 365 days, for the last 4 years, we have been following this every day. 10 to 12 is the bidding time. During this time, the buyers and sellers come to bid on the platform. 12 o'clock, we close the auctions.
If you see the tariff and all, and how a private operator can sell, I told him there must be either some Hindi document should come. How easily REC is traded. ये REC की ट्रेडिंग कैसे हो रही है, इसमें फ़ायदा क्या होगा? जैसे अभी एक फ्लोर प्राइस ₹9.30 फ्लोर प्राइस है. तो एक सिंपल एग्जांपल देता हूँ कि अगर आपका कैप्टिव पावर प्लांट आपको बनाना है सोलर, तो आप कैप्टिव बनाइए, यूज़ करिए. जो अगर आप ग्रिड से ₹6 ले रहे हैं, तो बेसिकली आपको जो मिलेगा वो ₹9.30 और वो ₹6 मिला के ₹15 आपको इसमें रियलाइज़ होगा. तो कोई भी कैप्टिव बनावे वो खाली 6 रुपये नहीं बचा रहा अपने, उसको वो पूरा अर्निंग 6 रुपये बचा के और 9 रुपये 30 पैसे की अर्निंग हो रही है। इतना प्रॉफिटेबल है और ये मैकेनिज्म से बहुत सारा सोलर पावर प्लांट आने वाला है। और ये फ्लोर प्राइस गवर्नमेंट सरकार खुद गारंटी कर रही है कि 9 रुपये 30 पैसे हम 2017 तक मेंटेन करेंगे। सो दीज थिंग्स पीपल हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड। एम आई राइट? करेक्ट मी? एब्सोल्युटली। सो दिस सिचुएशन आई थिंक हमको कॉमन आदमी को समझाना पड़ेगा, छोटे बिजनेसमैन को समझाना होगा। 1, 2, 3 मेगावाट वाले भी जरूरी नहीं कि आप अपने प्लांट पे ही डालिए, आप उसको व्हीलिंग मैकेनिक से थोड़े दूर भी रख सकते हैं, डिस्टेंस भी रख सकते हैं, दूसरी जगह आपका प्लांट कर रहे हैं। ओपन एक्सेस में प्रॉब्लम है कि स्टेट टू स्टेट आज भी बहुत मुश्किल है काम करना, क्योंकि व्हीलिंग चार्जेस बहुत हाई है। लेकिन समझिए आप BGVCL के पास जाइए, हमारे पटेल साहब बैठे हैं, आप कहीं सोलर प्लांट किसी दूसरी जगह लगाइए और समझिए वो 10 किलोमीटर दूर है और आप भी खुद कंज्यूम करिए, तो इनकी मेरे ख्याल से व्हीलिंग बड़ी लो होगी कॉस्ट। आई थिंक वी विल अलाउ सच व्हीलिंग सर लोकल। I think we will encourage, don't worry. So my point is this, and I wish to call the last speaker, but before that I want to give the India Power and Energy memento to Patel sir, which has not been given to him. May I request Padmini please bring over a memento immediately, and may I request Hedar bhai to give it to Patel sir. We have not given our conclave memento, sir. Please give a big hand. May I also request Kapade Sahab, the past president who is here, and I must thank him because our relationship started during his presidentship. The relationship of REPA, Inertia with the Southern Gujarat and the Southern Gujarat Productivity Council in the chamber started during his time. Pankaj bhai, please come over, sir. And may I request H.S. Patel ji to please felicitate him. Like Saurabh said that the past presidents are gem, they have built this organization, so please give him a really big hand. Thank you, sir, once again. Is there any representative of SGPC here? Any representative from SGPC right now? Mayank bhai? Okay. May I request one more memento for SGPC, because we have partnered this conclave with the Southern Gujarat Productivity Council, and we thank the council for this. It's a small piece of appreciation for our partnership. Thank you, SGPC. May I request Shri M.B. Joshi, from Superintending Engineer from Sardar Sarovar. In fact, Sardar Sarovar is the winner of Inertia Awards as the best hydro project in the country twice, including 2012. He is going to make a presentation on the Sardar Sarovar project.
Thank you, Professor Iyer, and a very good evening and a warm welcome to this special presentation. Now we are in the last leg of our energy-packed brainstorming session. In our irrigation parlance, there is a tail-ender syndrome. Means the tail-ender has to suffer. Today, I am the tail-ender of this brainstorming session, but I hope with your patience, I will not have to suffer. We are now moving from dam, that is Day-Ahead Market, to another dam, that is Sardar Sarovar Dam. Its role in achieving the long-term energy security, not only for the state of Gujarat, but for the nation as a whole. I would like to begin with a quotation from Schumacher, one of the greatest thinkers you know. And he said that if energy fails, everything fails. And in that backdrop, I would like to congratulate the organizers, Inertia as well as REPA, for having organized this conference at the most opportune time with the most important theme. Electricity generation scenario, I need not tell you much about this, but hydro, if we just have a look at, Global, it says around 16%. India, it is 12%. And somebody said it is 17%. And there can always be debate about these numbers. But at the same time, we all would agree with the trend. And in Gujarat, since it is constrained so far as natural resources are constrained for development of hydroelectric potential, it is 6%. But the per capita electricity consumption, if we have a look at, global is around 2,800 to 3,000, and India 780 plus. Gujarat is 1,642 units per year. Now, welfare benefit from hydropower generation, somebody had come out with this interesting equation which says economic benefits from a hydroelectric project is alpha times 0.47 multiplied by 10 raised to 6. And what is 0.47 in that? It says is the amount of money in rupees required to prevent 0.96 kg of CO2 emission from a coal-based conventional thermal power plant. Now this figure, I'm sure, has gone much about this. Energy scenario of Gujarat. What will be the demand of the state so far as electricity is concerned in the year 2021? Will it be 1,50,000 million units every year for projected population of 67 million? And I do not know if this number is correct or not, but 2,250 units per capita is the assessment, and that is further complicated or confronted with the power subsidy burden more than US dollar 0.5 billion every year. Now you all know very well that farmers need water. They don't need electricity for agricultural activities. But Gujarat's 22% of the state's electricity goes to power bore wells that go deeper and deeper into the earth to find water. What is the solution then? Now Gujarat has successfully implemented this interstate multi-purpose river valley project, which is now in its advanced stage of completion, the Sardar Sarovar project. Narmada is the 4th longest and the 5th largest river of our country. Its annual flow is more than the combined flow of Ravi, Beas and Satluj rivers, which are responsible for bringing the green revolution to our country. Mission of the Sardar Sarovar project is harnessing these untapped waters of the river Narmada for survival of millions of people and environmentally sound, sustainable development of the entire Western India by providing the essence of life, that is water and energy. Now water and energy, these are precious gifts of nature. Both are natural resources. They can neither be created nor be destroyed. At the most, one can transform it from one form to the other. Now after a decade-long deliberations, the Narmada Water Dispute Tribunal, constituted under the provision of the Constitution for the Interstate Dispute Act, it finally gave its landmark award in 1979, and it gives this kind of sharing so far as water resource is concerned, and the electricity which will be generated through this project is concerned. So total installed capacity would be 1,450 megawatt, and the tribunal said that 57% will go to Madhya Pradesh, 27% will go to Maharashtra, and 16% will be the share of Gujarat. Sardar Sarovar project, apart from this hydropower generation, is world's second largest concrete dam, which is an engineering marvel. The project is going to irrigate 1.8 million hectare, and almost 1/3 of the Bharat Nirman target so far as irrigation is concerned is going to come from this single project alone. Then drinking water to 3.1 crore people and 9,633 villages and 131 urban centers. Hydropower generation of 1 billion units every year. One of the largest canal networks in the world, with 458 kilometer long main canal and total length 75,000 kilometer. Enormous potential so far as renewable energy is concerned. Hydropower till date, the two powerhouses of this project have generated 26,950 million units of electricity, which is clean energy. Two powerhouses, one is riverbed powerhouse which is underground, has 6 turbines each of 200 megawatt, total capacity 1200 megawatt, penstock diameter itself is 7.6 meter. Another is canal head powerhouse, 250 megawatt, and its penstock diameter is 6.7. Both the powerhouses are fully operational since the year 2006, and even if we consider the 2 rupees 5 paise, that is the power purchase agreement that we are having, its value is to 5,525 crore, greater than $1 billion US, against the project cost of 5,080 crore. I mean the component of the dam towards hydropower plus the hydropower complex itself, and the operation and maintenance cost of 155 crore spent so far. These are the pictures of the 2 powerhouses. This is the overview of the main dam and the hydropower complex. And my dear friends, I am very proud to share with you that each drop of water, before utilizing it for irrigation or drinking or industrial use, is made to pass through the canal head powerhouse, and after generating electricity only, we are consuming each drop of Narmada water so far as this project is concerned.
See, I was just sitting there, and I must tell you that I have visited this project personally. I have seen, and it is I'm an engineer, so I love the project for sure. The design, the kind of technology that is used, the machines, the main machines are, I think the turbines are, the hydro turbines are Toshiba, and the generators, I believe, are BHA. Yeah. So, and the canal head powerhouse is from Kirloskar, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So basically, this is a very unique project, and one of those, the siphon system, it is a patented siphon system done by Kirloskar, which also won the Inertia Awards. So a lot of awards within the project also, and I believe we have friends from Kirloskar with us here. If I'm not mistaken, they were there in the beginning, and yeah, they're here right now. So congratulations to the Indian company which has done the job. They have been also, please give them a big hand. And they have been our friends through thick and thin, and I think we will continue to work together on a lot of issues. I must tell you that every person in Gujarat must be proud of Narmada, because that is one of the model projects in the world. Like I said, the second largest in its category in the world, and it is a marvel. And also I tell you that we are taking the discussion in July all the way. If you see my white paper on the back, you'll see the advertisement of Bhutan, a small country selling 1700 megawatts to India. This right now not a problem, but I am taking a seminar with Bhutan jointly on hydropower development, and Mr. Joshi's organization and Narmada are most welcome to share the experience right from Gujarat, right at Bhutan. I am inviting today Mr. Joshi and his team. Please come over and talk. Even in Bhutan, they are very happy. In fact, internal story is the people and administration in Bhutan want people from Narmada to operate their future projects. Can you believe that? They have told me, Professor, can you convince some engineers so that they can come and stay and help us here? That is the request they are giving me. So that's the kind of thinking. And a small country like Bhutan, which does not believe in GDP, it believes in gross national happiness. So they are studying the Gujarat model in Bhutan. Last month I was there and I was stunned. They are doing research. They are saying your state of Gujarat is doing, and we are studying those models for ourselves. So do we have to look at US or Bhutan? I don't know. Think again. So sometimes it can be very crazy. So whole of South Asia is getting impacted with this Gujarat model, including model of distribution companies, model of the JETCOs. Everybody is viewing the companies over here, and Professor Iyer is not the loner. That he started 10 years back talking that this model is looking interesting. And now some people are very worried. So there is a lot of, you'll have the challenge, because when you run a race alone, it is like that long distance race. 5 kilometers you are running. Then the bunch is there. After 2.5, 3 kilometers, you're no more in the bunch. You're a loner. That lone battle is a very bad battle, because you have to finish the race with some record. You can't have a race where you don't break any record. So the race has to be with record-breaking race, That is the path you are following. So with this, I request my joint president and my colleague and my good friend Hetal Mathur to give you the vote of thanks and take you through the next 5 minutes to end today's function.
Good evening. Thank you, Professor, for inviting me here. Friends, all the session is over. Now the last session is proposing a vote of thanks. But even we say, if we start in the Rajdhani from Mumbai, it will stop at Surat, at least in 3 hours. And the session is already started at 2:30, and I think it is 5:30. The stoppage is here for today. Tomorrow we are meeting again here. At 10 o'clock we'll be having breakfast backside, and 11 o'clock we'll start the session sharp. There are very interesting sessions tomorrow on the smart grid as well as on solar. So I need all of your presence along with your colleagues. Today at this juncture we are finding few tables empty, but I think tomorrow we may have to add a few more tables. That's what we are looking. This was the idea behind this conclave to bring it Surat. I think, first of all, I thank Southern Gujarat Chamber of Commerce and Industry as well as South Gujarat Productivity Council. Because when South Gujarat Productivity Council stated that we are going to do Energy Expo this year, and at the same time we started dialogue delivering with Inertia and Falcon Media that can you help us in building this Energy Expo. The beginning was like that, but ultimately at the end, during the exhibition of Sparkle in the month of January, Arvind Kapadia took a lead and they converted these relations in the conclave. So thank you very much, and because of all the efforts, the conclave came to Surat. In fact, this was planned in Ahmedabad in the month of September. But then with the request of the chamber and as a PC, this has been shifted to Surat during this time, during the expo. Let me thank, first of all, our honorable guest, rather chief guest, Energy Minister, who started very nicely the policy paralysis. Like he covered fuel, he covered rather transmission, distribution, everywhere. He has put a scenario in front of us, what we are going to do in next coming 5 years or 10 years. But yes, fuel is a challenge for us, generation is a challenge for us, distribution is a challenge for us. But same time, non-conventional source of energy also we are adding. That's the plus point for all of us. Today, we are somewhat, what figure we have seen, we are somewhere 1.6 gigawatt for the solar. But I think in 5 years, what we have targeted by 2020 or 2022, 20 gigawatt. But I think we may catch up this 20 gigawatt by 17 or 18 or before that. The H.S. Patel Sahab, the keynote address. You know, Patel Sahab is very well aware of this city. He was in this city since 90 to 95 in various capacities. He was here in the 98 flood on the officer's special duty. He was here on 2006 flood on officer's special duty. So what Professor Iyer said, he has served this city very well. Now it is his turn to serve electricity very well. He is serving electricity by getting the award. By 39 DISCOM of the country has selected best DISCOM of the country, DGVCL. So that's the pride for all of us. Thank you very much, sir, for being here. We have all the speakers, like Rana Sahab, who has left already, but he delivered his overall scenario of Gujarat very well. Then Mr. Sanjay, who has given fantastic data. Rather, we have seen the first time map of the country on the solar, because whatever map we have seen was given by the NASA or somebody else, but the documentation has already started. That is very positive step for the country. Then Bankim was excellent again with the energy exchange. Bikram, I think Bikram Singh, he has very nicely, what we were discussing, exchange has hardly 3% role in this country. Why can't we have that 12%, 15% with the proper, whatever method we have developed? And see the rate what he has shown here, 4 rupees 12 paisa per unit the average. So we must take advantage of this exchange. Thank you very much, Vikram Singh. And as usual, Joshi Saab, thank you very much. The detailing of the Narmada, Sardar Sarovar, and what Professor has said. We must plan to go to Bhutan with the people of Narmada. That's absolutely. Ashwini, as usual, is opening batsman, whatever style. Thank you very much. Mayank Bhai is there on the dais. He is the main person who has converted this conclave in the reality. With a very, very huge effort, he has worked very, very hard. And again, all the speaker as well as all the audience, when you are there, the charm of the conclave is there. When you are sitting at non-stop marathon inning 3.5 hours, the charm of the conclave is there. And we wish tomorrow it has to be there. Thank you one and all. Thank you very much.